Hey guys, today we will talk about lab safety. Well, I know we are 100% virtual right now, but you guys will probably be having in-person classes later, so it is very important to know what lab safety it looks like in a science lab. Also, this is also important to learn because we should know what is appropriate behavior so you can take care of yourself in a lab, so that it might not pose any sort of danger to you or your friends, or even me. We want to make sure everyone is healthy and happy and excited for lab. So let's get into today's content. So science is always fun and exciting, but like I've already mentioned, it can be dangerous. So it is very important that we learn not to take shortcuts, even if we think there is no danger. I see there's a typo. I'll go ahead and fix that later. But yeah, always try your best to make sure you're prepared and that you will never pose danger to your friends. Now, these are some of the symbols that you guys need to know when it comes to lab safety. Now, let's look at it one by one. The first one that we have here is eye safety. Now, the only thing that's most important about eye safety is that we must always wear goggles. These are protective. They will make sure your eyes will remain unharmed during the experiment. And if there are any substances that gets in your eye or eyes, what you need to do is notify me or your teacher or your instructor immediately, and then flush them with running water for about 15 minutes. Also, avoid wearing eye contact lenses, so that there's no irritation or no chemicals get under your lenses and harm your eye. So make sure you don't wear any eye contact lenses and always wear protective goggles. Next, over here we have clothing protection. By clothing protection, of course, all it means is that you need to wear a lab coat or lab apron if you have any. You must wear these at all times whenever you're conducting an experiment. Even if you're not playing with chemicals or using chemicals, go ahead and wear your lab coat because we never know if there's going to be a spill or any damage that might cause chemicals to breach your clothes or get to your skin. Next, we have hand safety. This is most useful if we are in the middle of something like dissection, using sharp instruments to cut into something, or if you're using heat. So in this case, always wear heat protective gloves that will be given to you, and do not take them off unless you're directed to do so. And in these circumstances, if you're dissecting something, do not just put it on your hand and cut it. Always make sure you have a safe surface, a proper workspace where you can do that safely. Next, we have heating safely. Now, heating safely, again, you need to wear your safety goggles, wear your heat resistant gloves when instructed to do so, and make sure you're not too close to it. Don't be too far away, but make sure you're not too close to it either. Next, we have electric safety. So electric safety, you need to make sure you're careful when using electric cords. Make sure it's not laying on the floor such that people will trip over it. Make sure it's not hanging off the table just so no one actually pulls it accidentally and the equipment falls to the floor. Make sure that's not the case. Always handle them with dry hands and turn them off when you're not using it or you've completed your experiment and you're done using it. Next, we have chemical safety. Now, chemicals, when you're handling them, again, always wear safety goggles, always wear your apron or your lab coat and your protective gloves. Even if you're dealing with something that's very mild, act or be prepared as if it is a dangerous chemical. always be prepared. So wear your protective gloves, and if there's any spill that gets on you or your clothing, rinse immediately with water and then call your teacher or while calling to me or your instructor. Next, we have animal safety. Animal safety, if you were going to do any dissections or any experiments with live animals, you need to make sure that you handle them only as directed, only follow the instructions, and always treat them with care and respect. These are some of there are a lot of ethical codes that go into having animals for experiments, so always treat them with respect. Do not tease them, do not bully them. Always take care of them and wash your hands thoroughly after you've done handling them. Next, we have sharp objects. Now, sharp objects, when you're handling sharp instruments like scissors or knives, make sure you practice extreme care. Again, do not cut them while you're holding them. Place it on a suitable surface. Make sure you have a suitable working area or a workspace before you cut into something. And lastly, we have plant safety. Now, plant safety, it is important that you not eat any plants or seeds that are used in the lab. It's possible that they might have some chemicals on it, so do not do that. Do not pick wild plants unless you're directed to do so, especially when we are in the nature. So all of the information is on here behind in your slides, so you don't have to worry if you've missed something. Just some other things that I do need you guys to remember is one, regarding the smell. When you're instructed to note the odor of a substance, make sure that you are not close to the source. Stay away and just kind of wave the fumes toward your nose using your hands, and it will eventually drift to you. Make sure you're not too close, as it can be dangerous to yourself. The most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, one of the most important things is the neatness that you need to have while you're working at a science lab or a lab station. You need to have a clean workstation. You need to remove any kind of spare books or loose sheets of paper, and if you have long hair, you should tie your hair back. Avoid wearing loose articles of clothes like ties, and avoid wearing hairsprays because these are flammable and they might catch on fire if you're using Bunsen burners and something similar for our experiments. Again, no food at all. It's very much possible that the food can get contaminated by the chemicals that we are using. So no foods or cosmetic items are allowed. Again, with the same cosmetic items, it can get contaminated, and we don't want that. And avoid wearing open-toed shoes. So always wear your closed-toed shoes so that your feet are protected at all times, especially in case of a spill. Eye safety, we have already talked about it. We've talked about most of the stuff here. The only thing we did not talk about was glassware. So no matter what we are using, if you're using flasks or beakers, always examine it before you start using them. Check if there are any cracks, if there are any chips, and we need to check because if you're using the beaker and if it has a crack, it's very easy for it to spill or have an explosive reaction. So always make sure that your glassware is in perfect condition before you actually use them. And if there's any damage either before or after you start using them, report it immediately to me, your teacher, or your instructor. And again, always use heat-resistant glassware when used for heating. I will most probably provide these to you, but if you think it is not heat-resistant, tell me immediately, report it immediately, and I will make sure you guys are taken care of. And that was the most of the information that I had for you guys today. If you had any questions, please go ahead and contact me, like I always say. And tomorrow is your post-test or unit test. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and contact me. I will see you guys later. Bye!